the easiest way to call APIs in Flutter. This short tutorial will teach us how to implement logic for calling APIs in Flutter. Dio is a great package that can help us make HTTP API calls, so we will be using that. We will use a free web service called Random User to generate and fetch a random user every time we request it. In order to visualize the web service response, just go to randomuser.me/API and you should be able to see a random user along with their properties in JSON format. Our goal for this tutorial is to log the data returned from this API to our Flutter console. So fire up your Flutter project. Once that is done, go to the pubspec.yaml file and add Dio as a dependency. Now create a file in the lib folder called user_service.dart. We will create the user service class inside this file, and it will be responsible for making the API calls related to our user. Inside the user service class, we will create a method called getUser, which will be responsible for fetching the user data from the random user web service. After the method has been created, we are going to make a GET request using the Dio package. This will request the web service at randomuser.me/API to give us a random user's data. The Dio's GET method returns a response type object. This means that we can utilize all of the properties inside it whenever data is received. We are going to create a variable called response and equate it to our API call so that we can capture the response object and print the data coming from the web service to the console. We can do this by printing the response class's data property. We have now completed the logic for requesting data from the web service, capturing the response, and displaying it on the Flutter console. Now we need to call this method when the app starts. To do that, go to main.dart and call userService.getUser method inside the main method before the runApp method. We will wait for the call to complete, so we need to write await before the getUser call and also mark the main method as async. Make sure to call widgetsFlutterBinding.ensureInitialized before the API call to ensure that the Flutter framework is ready for running code before app initialization. Now run the app, and once the app is successfully run, you should be able to see the console with the JSON response printed out. That's it. We have learned how to integrate a simple API in our app and print the response in our console. Let's print out the email of this user, go back to the getUser method in our user service class, and replace our log call with this. We are accessing the results field of the JSON response, which is a list of user objects. We will then access the 0th element of the list and then grab the email property. Now restart the app and you should be able to see the email printed out in the console. If you like the tutorial, please subscribe to our channel and follow our socials.